Duke was a tough game for us. We felt like it was a missed opportunity, but we have to make sure that we don't blow any game out of proportion. We know that any game in the ACC is going to be a tough game. It's going to be a battle. So coming in with the right mindset, even though it is a rivalry, as long as we stick to our principles and do the small things, we should be fine. So, yes, we were upset about Duke, but it's bigger than just one game.
You guys already have almost as many ACC wins as you had all of last season. Is this team better than last year's team in any certain ways? How do you kind of explain being off to 6-1 start in ACC play?
I definitely think that, we're a better team. Most of us are back, save, Brianna Mason. But, I think we've grown in experience. We've grown in discipline. We've grown in individuals' ability, both offensively and defensively. In that regard, I think, we've been able to move ourselves up an echelon. So we're excited about that.
Coach, did you have any question about how they would respond to the Duke loss and what was practice like?
No, honestly, not at all. And I think that's just because of the growth. Like, we've played 20-some games now, so you just kind of watch us after Mississippi State or Georgia, and just every day come back to practice and show up and here, let's go. This is what we need to do. We watch film and we go out and work on those things and we keep it moving. But to what Lily said too, we have the core group of our people back. But that core plays so many minutes, and the second years played so many minutes as freshmen or first years. It's just the level of experience that they have. They're very coachable. They believe in themselves. They believe in themselves as a unit, as a team, and so they always know, and they've proven they can be in every game. And I think just that maturity and that growth and has really kind of sparked this great energy about this team this year.
And is that the same answer for you have a big lead, it disappears, it's 50-50? Same answer for how they handled that?
Yeah, I think in any situation like that, teams maturity. It comes down to maturity, and believing, because not everything's going to go your way in a game, and we've been in all different types of games this year. But it's just a maturity and a belief and knowing that we've been here before, we can do it again.
Coach, you got to be ecstatic about going 13 for 13 from the free throw line,
yes.
But especially that 9 for 9 in the final 2 minutes. How huge was that?
Really big. I mean, anytime you're making free throws, and we practice a lot of free throws and we run a lot in practice and we shoot free throws tired, and so it's a big payoff. And the team really, a lot of credit just goes to them, because you can come in and practice and go home, or you can come in and practice and get individual work in and stay after and come early, and that's what the majority of this group does, and that's why they're seeing the success, because it does show up in the details of the game.
Jocelyn, what do you guys, when you guys have led since the first quarter and all of a sudden there late in the game, it's tied 50-50, what are you guys thinking at that point?
I mean, that's something that we've been working on, just being mentally resilient. But again, we've been in those situations before. Duke was a game very similar. We had the lead, and obviously we didn't get the outcome that we wanted ultimately, but just growing from experiences like that and realizing, okay, we had a good start, we threw the first punch, so now that they're making their run, how are we going to respond to that? And ultimately it just comes down to sticking together as a team. We know that on the defensive end, that's where we need to get the stops to propel us on the offensive end. So as long as we're sticking together, communicating and doing the small things, sticking to our principles, we should be fine.
Coach, this one's for you right here. Virginia Tech shot 4 of 24 in the fourth quarter. What did you tell your team going into the quarter to just step up their defense the way they did?
For us, every team's different, but for us, changing defenses is what has gotten us to this point. So the buzz has just been a great staple for us, and the team loves it, and certain lineups work really well, and I've said this before, but I love Joss at the top of that as much as I love her on the bottom, but I love the size we get up top, and so when we have certain lineups in, I just feel like we are in a great position to trap. And when you don't get to practice against that defense every day. So if you don't practice against it, it's really hard to just show up in a game and figure it out, because you really cannot just run a set offense against it. And I think the girls really did a great job with their coverage and knowing who to guard and who not to guard and how to be out on shooters. And the biggest part out of it was the rebounding. Like, that's what we have to correct.
To really anybody who wants to answer this, how nice was it to have the last week off?
Well, technically speaking, it was off in the sense that we didn't have a game, but it was still very important and very crucial to our growth for the season going forward. We, like Coach said, we put a couple of offensive plays in. We really tried to focus on the defensive end, focus on rebounding, focus on transition defense. This week wasn't a week off in that sense. We definitely were putting in the work and working hard together.
Joanne, what was kind of the game plan going in terms of how you wanted to defend their 3-point shooters and how you wanted to guard McGarity?
I mean, the two people we really wanted to be focused on is McGarity and Emery. And just not let them go off, you know. But as always, Hicks, for some reason against us, loves playing against Virginia and always shows up. So I don't think we did. I thought we did a pretty good job on everybody else. I thought we let Hicks get loose too often. Obviously, we turned the ball over. You're not catching that. You know, you're not catching her in transition. I mean, I don't think we did a good job of layering up underneath her early. Late we did, but early we did not. And then she's just hard to go one-on-one, like when she's coming full speed at you. So, but that was the game plan. Try and really let other kids score for them, you know. And again, I think the team did a great job of understanding personnel, and that was a key to that victory.
Do you feel like, is this your best UVA team in any way? And do you feel like, obviously after the near miss of not getting the NCAA's, you know, do you have a sense of, okay, I think I've got an NCAA tournament team on my hands this year?
For sure. You know, again, and it speaks volumes to them and their maturity and how hard they work to come back. And you know, it's hard to hear that you're not in, but then it's another thing, what are you going to do with it? And I think, again, scheduling that non-conference schedule was purposeful. You know, we wanted to challenge ourselves, and even though, you know, you come out a little less than what you wanted, the experience, you can't change the experience for it. And I think that is what's paying off. It's really given us dividends here. It's showing up every day, knowing we can be in every game no matter who we're playing. So that was the challenge. But again, in any off season, it's just what kind of work are we doing? What's the work? And the team really worked this summer, and they worked fall, and they believe in each other. And a lot of it is all the stuff that's outside of plays and all that. It's all the other stuff, and they're good together.
This is for anyone. How nice was it to beat Virginia Tech today? Just in-state rival.
I mean, that's always a good feeling, any win really, but especially over our rivals. And we know that's always bigger than just the women's basketball team. We're representing UVA and the rivalry, the bigger rivalry. So it was a good win for us, and we're just looking to build off of it.